Hey y'all, how's it going? I'm trading the ES futures on a 2000 tick chart with a 21 EMA. So I've got the overnight high up here and the overnight low down here. These are our key levels for the day. So starting off, we have this downtrend break. When a downtrend gets a break, you can expect prices to attempt a new low, which I do want to mention really quick. I started trading right around this area here at 8 as we were pushing lower. And so we start pushing up here. We can draw this trend line up and it continues holding as we get higher up. There's no longs on the way up here. We just had a downtrend break. So when we break here, we can expect price to attempt a new low. And I would want to see something rush below the EMA and hold. And so we continue up. We get this break. It's kind of forming this range. On a small picture, this uptrend has a break, push to a new high before reversing. But on a big picture, this is really just downtrend break. It's not like a whole trend played out here. We just have a downtrend break, pushing down to a new low. And this would be a good place to look for a failed second entry as we push lower here. Say we just push on down, get two clear legs back off the EMA right here. Then we could look for a short, but we just don't get that. We get one leg down, we get this break from it. And, with this trend line being off of that swing right there, we start getting very choppy because we do have a couple of pushes above the EMA. So you don't want to just enter right back into that, especially when it's not holding well off the trend line anyway. And so then it just starts going sideways. And, what you have here at this point is you technically have a failed second entry. So starting from up here, you have first entry long, second entry long, failure. It's just not a very clean setup to actually take. It's very borderline. It's really, really borderline. So you have these two legs up here forming that two-legged break, but this second leg up is much smaller compared to this first leg. And so what could easily happen is, since these measured moves do act as a magnet, you could easily have that first push up, tick down a little bit, and make a second leg up, attempting to reach it. Because these measured moves do act as magnets, and if on that first leg it doesn't reach the measured move, it could very easily have a second attempt, especially given that if we did make a second attempt up here, the overall pattern for this big picture failed second entry wouldn't really be changed. Like, say we did push lower here and then make a second leg up all the way to here. On a big picture, it would still look like the same pattern, basically. And so, I just want to say, with these measured moves, it's very common that stuff like that will happen. And so that's why I didn't want to enter short here. But, it does end up pushing on down. This one is just so borderline because even though there's some things I don't like about it, it is very, very big picture. And so oftentimes they'll just take off. But, I still think I did the right thing not entering it because there's just so many things wrong with it that I don't think it being very big picture really overrides it. I really would have wanted to see another leg up here before entering short. In consider this, you are in this range right here, breaking out. You could, so on top of the fact that this is a magnet that price could attempt to reach, it could also attempt to fade back up with this range right here, adding on to that. So there's just some things wrong with it that kept me out of it. But, if you can see this, then you're already on the right track because you can spot these way bigger picture setups here. This is a very big picture failed second entry. So, if you're looking at that, then that's definitely, good on you. But there were just a few, details with it that kept me out of it. And so anyway, we push on lower here. We break out of the overnight low and we just push on down. Clearly, downtrend break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower, which on an even bigger picture, you can clearly tell that this is just two legs down. So even these two legs here, they combine and form one leg. I didn't mean to move that. We've clearly got two legs down there. So anyway, we push on lower here. We start getting, finding some chop. We start forming this little range right here. We break out, fade back in. Now, I didn't like this because we had rushed so far above the EMA, or not. It's not so far, but we had a very, pretty good spike above the EMA there. And it was kind of out of nowhere because you don't get two clear legs. From here you can kind of say there's two legs up there, but it's really just sideways chopping. So I wouldn't want to enter this. It looks like it kind of had a small amount of resistance at the end there, which isn't good just considering we did have a very sharp move up pushing above the EMA here. I would want to see two legs like this. I would want to see something like that, two bigger legs up attempting to fade back in, so that way we can get a 2-attempt failure. Because when you break out of an overnight level or even just a regular range, you want to see 2 attempts to fade before you buy with the breakout, or in this case, short with the breakout. So that's why I just don't like that there. And we break it. When we break out here and then break out there, we can kind of look to extend the range a bit. And so we got this range going here. Unfortunately, there's just nothing clear. We got it's even more choppy in the middle of it here. So I just don't like anything. We break out. If you had rushed above and then gotten an entry holding a back above this range low and outside of this green trend line, it pushes through and holds on the other side, then yeah, we could have looked for a fade, maybe a small fade entry, but we were very bearish at that point. But, we could have gotten something if price was really strongly pushing higher and actually holding. But you don't want to enter right into it, though, and price can't even get above the EMA for a while. So we're just getting very choppy here. Unfortunately, there's just nothing in this area to take. And we finally push on out of there. Let me redraw this. It's just way too much chop right here. So anyway, we finally push on out of there. Now, at this point, you do have 2 big legs down. So you can expect an attempt to reverse. You can look for a reversal pattern. And you kind of have one here. So starting from here, you have first entry short, second entry short, failure. First off, I don't like how, we have a spike up, break, new high, and then a very sharp rush back below. This is already telling you that, this is basically a little tiny uptrend played out already, attempting to reverse. But you do technically, to the count, have a failed second entry. And on top of what I just said about it, it's like getting so choppy here. At this point, you would have this range. You only have that one breakout, so you wouldn't quite need to extend it yet. But you're entering right into this resistance, and then it just chops around before eventually moving higher. So it does end up working, but it's definitely not a very good setup, or it's not a good setup in any way. And so then we continue on higher here. We have a push back in. Now, when we push back in, when we faded back up, what I was wanting was 2 clear legs retesting the overnight low, because once again, we have 2 major legs down. We can expect a reversal, especially when we're clearly fading an overnight level. So when we go back in, we can expect a 2-legged move, and if we can get a spike up, 2-legged move down, then that would be a big picture failed second entry. So, I was thinking as we push up at this level here, we could get a couple legs down to the overnight low. So spike up, 2-legged break, make a second leg up, something like this. And so this is what I would be looking for, and I unfortunately was unable to get anything because it just never came down and did that. It just continued to hold on the EMA on first entries. We push up here, we get a first entry long, push up, first entry long, push up, first entry long. And now it's getting choppy and, kind of looking like might be forming some kind of range here. So, nothing for me today. It's just one of those days, not much movement, pretty slow. Very borderline trade right here. It's just not perfect, but it was on a very big picture. So nothing today. Hopefully tomorrow picks up a bit. Yeah, there were some folks asking me about this right here. Yeah, it was just so borderline. But I will say, if you were looking at that area, definitely you're doing a good job getting the bigger picture pattern spotted, because it is very hard to do that at first. Because a lot of people who like the way I trade came from scalping, and so they'll be very, very zoomed in. They'll just be looking at every tick that goes by, and then they forget to just, zoom out, take a look at the whole chart, try to see their, patterns on a bigger picture. And so if you're spotting this, then you're already on the right track. You're doing good. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Hope this video helped out in some kind of way, and thanks for watching. Actually, wait, before I go, I do want to talk about what I think could happen next. So we have this uptrend. What I'm thinking here is, we could continue this leg down, and even though you have these 2 legs and they make a double top, they're clearly correlated as 2 legs, but considering that they are a double top, you can reset the count from here, so price could easily have 2-legged moves starting from here. So you know, what could happen is something like this. We could still get a two-legged break from this uptrend, and so this would basically be a big picture failed second entry. First entry short, second entry short, failure. And even if we don't get anything down here for long, what could happen is we, from here, push back above the EMA, and then from here form a smaller picture failed second entry that would launch the second leg up. And so, you know, we could get something like this here. And, you know, that's just a possibility, but I don't think I'm going to be sticking around for that. I'm just going to be done right now. And once again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.